Hi there and good morning. I'm wondering, have you ever noticed that once you get past something, some big challenge in life, or you start to understand some event, or you have healed something, or you've put two and two together about something, have you noticed that actually then a whole new layer unfolds, and then after that one a whole new layer unfolds, and then after that a whole new layer unfolds? I have to tell you kind of a funny story that happened last week that I think will help you understand the human condition and also help you understand the many layers of what you are probably going through too. So, as you know, I'm a therapist, a psychologist, and I tend to work with people long term because I really want to help them with their evolution and get through all of the different pieces of life that seem to be tripping them up. And this one, I chuckle every time I think about this. This woman came in last week, and I've worked with her on for about 4 years. And she comes in, plops down on my love seat right in front of me and says, man, I thought I was through this layer and here comes a whole new one. You're not going to believe what happened next. And so she goes on and on and on about telling me what happened. And she said, Dr. Kelly, why does this happen? Why is it that we get through one layer and then we think we're done and then here comes a whole new layer? And, I kind of, my cartoon brain sort of kicked in and I said, well, life is sort of like a Pez dispenser. And she just kind of looks at me and she's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, think about it. When you have a Pez dispenser, those little toys that have the little pop-up head and you get a little candy out of it, once you chew it, swallow it, enjoy it, get it down, what do? You open it up, there's a whole new one pushing out and just ready for you to pick up and eat that one too. And so I use that whole metaphor of this Pez dispenser of life to help people understand this whole week, ever since she was in, I'm helping people understand that, as we evolve, the many layers of the human condition are like a Pez dispenser, that we are supposed to kind of get through the first one, get through the next one, get through the next one, but there's always another layer. There's always another lesson. There's always something else that we're supposed to learn. That is evolution. Our spiritual nature is to evolve. Our soul's most natural state is evolution. And so, when we think about how hard the human condition is, and I agree, it's hard, and this last several weeks has felt very heavy and very, very hard. And for lots of people, and then we've got Mercury in retrograde right now, and we've got the full moon that happened last week and the eclipse that happened last week, and all of those are about new beginnings and bringing stuff to the surface that needs to get taken care of anyway. And so we've got all these layers of things, these layers of the human condition. All the way back to my undergrad days, I had, Psych 101, you have the whole idea of peeling of the layers of an onion that, if you use the metaphor of every single person being an onion, well, then we have multiple layers. Well, that's also true of our evolution. We have multiple layers of our evolution. So just as one layer or one little Pez candy gets chewed up and figured out and swallowed, here comes another one, and then here comes another one, and here comes another one. And so I've been using this metaphor for people a week and a half. She was in a week ago Monday. And people are kind of nodding and going, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. And so it's just remembering that, if we can look at the sweetness of life as part of our learning, as part of those challenges and our difficulty, we can always look back and see how we've grown. We can see how it has nourished us. Now, I'm not going to say Pez candies are nourishing, but it's that whole idea of the sweetness of it. We can generally look back at those layers after we've healed them, after we've digested whatever we're supposed to and whatever we're supposed to learn. We can look back and go, oh, okay, that's what that was about. And so we can yield whatever it was, the lesson was from those different events that happen in our lives. Now, for myself, I can look back all the way through my life and see how events stacked up and how I had to work through certain things to get to the next one and then the next one. I wouldn't have gotten where I am now had I not worked through all of those different layers and different lessons. So just as the Pez dispenser, there, universe, God, spirit, whatever term you want to use for the source that's out there, it gives us the next opportunity and then the next opportunity and then the next opportunity. That is our evolution. So those of you who know that I have a thing about Yoda, as soon as I had that session with her, I got on Amazon, excuse me, and I found a Yoda Pez dispenser. And so this is my new prop, helping people understand that as we evolve, which again, I consider little Yoda to be the most evolved icon, I think anywhere that most people who have ever seen the movie would be able to identify. I'm just helping people understand that with every part of life, we have to be ready for that next PEZ. We need to be ready for the next little piece of candy that comes out of these little heads, because it's going to come at us whether we like it or not, but it's part of our evolution. It is why we are here. It is why we are kind of moving along. I had a conversation with one of my clients yesterday about survival. And, again, I work with some pretty tough clients, tough issues. Deep abuse, very deep neglect, all kinds of different things that happened as children. And we were talking, she and I were talking about the survival instinct. And, if you think about their survival instinct, it's all about that soul's will and desire to move on, regardless of the circumstances. And we will do anything it is possible for us to cope. And so those are part of the layers. The layers are our soul's way of helping us endure, helping us move forward, helping us dissect and digest whatever those layers are, so that we can move on in a way to understand where our evolution is taking us and where it has taken us. So just like those little Pez dispensers, you have to fill it up again after they empty out. But life is sort of endless. Our evolution is endless, and we don't ever stop evolving if we open up ourselves to that universal movement, that inertia that happens with the universe. And a lot of people think inertia means stopping or stuck. If you look at the second definition, the physics definition of inertia, it's basically moving forward until something stops us. So unless we stop ourselves, really our evolution is endless. It's infinite. It will take us wherever we are supposed to go. And so I just want to kind of throw that metaphor of the Pez dispenser out there, because it helps, it has helped these clients this week kind of get a lighter version of, oh, okay, so these layers are supposed to happen. That unfolding, that very next little candy that pops out of this thing is supposed to happen as part of sweetening my evolution. So chew on that, so to speak, pun completely intended on that one. But I would love to know from you, how is life unfolding? Can you see how this Pez dispenser of life thing happens for you? I want to throw one other thing out there, because, a lot of what I talk about is kind of that evolutionary piece, and I throw in the soul and how important that is in our evolution. I had a radio interview 2 weeks ago, and after the interview, the host came back on and she said, you have been the first author and the first speaker that I've had on the show that could talk about spirituality in a down-to-earth way and make people understand it. And so pretty much every single thing I do is trying to help people understand the soul in a down-to-earth way. And so when I was thinking about this whole Pez dispenser thing, what better way than to make the soul tangible? And so when you think about the whole the evolution, it's abstract, it's hard to understand, but you bring it down to a Pez dispenser and you can understand that our evolution is like a little candy that comes out at one after the other. So just think about how you can bring that soul down to earth and use that as much more of a fodder for growth for the future, because I think we need to start really connecting how the spirit condition works with the human condition, because we do not evolve as humans without doing the spirit condition, but we also don't evolve as humans as spirit without doing the human condition. We have to do both intentionally and mindfully. So let's see where that takes us. And my dog is drinking water over there if you hear that. But I hope you have a wonderful day. I'd love to hear from you. Would love to hear what you have to say about this as well. And go to my website, www.Dr.KatherineT.Kelly.com. Sign up for my newsletter if you're not already on it. Lots of events starting to evolve again, and I'll be out there waiting to see you at one of them. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.